Hello everyone. Well, we have an interesting video today. I wanted to start with this so that you guys don't think that I did something inhumane. This is a Budgerigar, but in fact it is a very special Budgerigar bred by Daniel Lütolf, world famous Budgerigar breeder, and this was, as he says, a super bird. Unfortunately, it got egg-bound and passed away while laying her clutch. And I was in Daniel's place looking at his birds, and he was gonna basically just throw this away or bury it or whatever. And I said, look, I can freeze it, thaw it, and feed it to my snakes, make an interesting video out of it, and not waste material. And he agreed with me. So here we have a budgie that we are gonna feed to our black-headed pythons. So let's turn her around. As you can see from the leg right there, there's a bracelet showing that this bird was captive bred. It's unfortunate, really. It was really a beautiful bird, but it's gonna be useful. At least she's gonna be snake food. So I'm gonna thaw this now, and I'm gonna feed it to the pythons, and we are gonna watch it. Alright, thanks. Alright, this snake is in this box, and I have thawed the Budgerigar, and we are ready for the feeding. So I'll try to get this right. This guy is quite vicious when it comes to striking, so let's see if we can get a decent strike off of him. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay. Hopefully that was all in frame. But I think it was. Well, living in a rural area, we have all these cows around, so the bells that you're hearing in the background are actually cow bells. So hopefully you won't mind them. This is my black-headed python eating a Budgerigar, a small parrot from Australia region. Again, this animal died due to natural causes, and it was frozen to kill potential parasites and some of the microfauna. And now a black-headed python, again from Australia, is eating it. So when you think about it, this is not an extremely unlikely scenario. If for some reason a Budgerigar is down, or a black-headed python went up a tree to look for some kind of, food, this scenario can happen. Black-headed pythons are naturally lizard eaters, mostly, but birds are closer to lizards than mammals. In fact, birds are basically evolved dinosaurs. So, something different. Let's see if he'll be able to eat it though, because these guys take insane amount of time with rats. Let's see how he handles this bird. Again, I cut the bird's legs off before defrosting it, because I know that nothing is gonna happen, but I don't want those claws to, get entangled in the digestive tract somewhere, just to be extra correct and safe. There was also a bracelet, obviously, since this is a captive bred bird, showing the bird's origin, as I showed you guys in the start of this video. I cut that out as well. We don't want metal in our snakes. I will move the camera a little bit so we see the head of the snake trying to do the job. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a decent amount of work for him. He's quite used to eating rats, but not birds. I'll also take some pictures. So if you hear the camera clicking, it's just me taking pictures, guys. Alright, he is coming towards the end. Guys, that's a lot of feathers, but really not a lot of volume when it comes to the size of the prey. So don't worry, it's not gonna cause any harm to the snake. The size of the bird is really small compared to the rats that these guys take down. Just that they take a long time to eat. That's how they've always been. Now this guy's father is calico. It's a genetic mutation that basically results in a very lighter snake, especially on the sides. And he's coming close to a shed now, so he's a bit dark, but this guy is also quite light colored for a black-headed python, at least for the region that these guys come from. So I really wonder how he'll turn out to be when he's fully grown, because the calico gene in black-headed pythons is expressed quite late, at around sexual maturity. Okay, a lot of positioning going on to be able to get to the right orientation, but he's almost there. Those not fully connected jaws come in handy while feeding for snakes, as they cannot tear the prey down. All snakes eat their prey whole, and their jaws are very mobile compared to other animals. and it helps them a lot while feeding. Almost there. He's pretty much at the last hurdle. The chest cavity of the bird is a bit more voluminous compared to rats, so he's having a bit of trouble, but I don't think it's anything that he cannot handle. So the average weight of a Budgerigar is about 42 grams or so. The average weight of a rat that this guy eats is, I would say, is about 60-70 grams. They're small rats, but again, they don't have this enlarged chest cavity that birds have, so getting that down is becoming a challenge apparently. But if you guys watched the previous videos, you know that a challenge is welcomed with this guy, because he has an issue with his tear ducts where they are semi-blocked, so he needs a real enlargement of the oral cavity while feeding, so that that blockage lessens and the fluid in his eyes drain a bit. So this will actually be quite useful for him, as long as he can manage to get the bird down. But I think he just basically made a huge progress, and I think he went through the tough part. This looks very interesting from the side. His mouth is extremely enlarged. This shows how capable snakes are, really. And that was great. Bravo, that was it. And he's done. That's one hell of a bump, but he did a good job. Let's see if we're gonna get a nice yawn out of him after that large meal. He will want to get his jawbone back to the place where it's supposed to be.